Hi, my name's Teresa and I'm a trained nutritionist, and I just wanted to speak a little bit about what you can do to boost your immune system. I think it's something we need to look at the moment, and maybe understanding there is lots you can do because your body's immunity is working every moment of the day, and it's the most powerful way to avoid illness and to avoid illness related to the virus that's around at the moment. So what you want is a strong immune system that's not underreactive and not overreactive. So you want substances or behaviors or things in your life that modulate your immune system. So especially if there's any autoimmune conditions there, you want things that are going to modulate and help your immune system to find that healthy balance. So one of the most important things to enhance your immune system is getting enough sleep, getting really deep, restful sleep. So spending that time winding down so that you can go into those deeper delta brainwave states in sleep that are so restorative. The same is in getting enough rest and relaxation. So instead of being in sort of sympathetic overdrive all day, the fight, flight, responding to life crisis by crisis, we actually have time where we go into rest and repair, where the parasympathetic nervous system takes over and our body can deeply rejuvenate. The immune system takes an enormous amount of energy to maintain, and if we're not resting and giving our body a chance to build, then it will be compromised if we're always on the go, always in that habitual sort of hyperactive response to life. So things like yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, practicing yogic breathing, deep relaxation, meditation, contemplation, prayer, getting out and connecting with nature, connecting with animals. These all bring us into a parasympathetic rest and repair, rejuvenating state. And they help to build a resilient immune system that can adapt to whatever is going on in our environment. The same with physical activity, being active, getting outside every day, doing what you can do, what you love, especially physical activity you enjoy, because anything that brings joy in your body enhances your immune system. So fresh air, and this will also improve the quality of your sleep. If we positively stress our body, it helps to build the immune system. And this also builds the number of mitochondria, the size of them and the numbers, and stops them reducing as we age. So our mitochondria are responsible in the cells for how much energy we have and how much energy we can metabolically have from the food that we eat. So when I say positively stressing the body, this is what exercise does. This is what holding a yoga posture does. This is what slightly stressing the body when we, for example, we turn our shower to cold at the end. You might think, why would I want to do that? Try it. Be brave, and you will experience immense feeling of well-being. And it just stresses the body in a way that helps the body to become stronger and more resilient. The same for heat stress through things like saunas. Short bursts of intense exercise is being shown to positively stress the body. To build the resources in your body, to build your immune system, you need certain nutrients. And there are other nutrients that enhance your immune system, but none of these supplements or nutrients will do you any good if you can't absorb them through your gut. So for example, a very high sugar, a high carbohydrate diet can cause changes in the upper gut that mean that the absorption of nutrients and supplements is compromised. If there's not enough acid, if you're eating too often, you're not having good breaks between meals and a good overnight fast, you can have compromised acidity in this upper part of your gut. It needs to be sterile and it needs to be acidic to get the best absorption of your nutrients and to get the most benefit for your immune function, because the health of your gut and the health of your immune system are completely linked. And we're starting to understand this more and more as we understand what we call your gut biome, or the population of bacteria in your gut, and how profoundly that affects your health. So if you're taking drugs that block the acid in your gut, be aware that you will not be absorbing some of the beneficial things for your immune system. And this can be a factor in the strength of your immune system. So don't cut those out without medical advice, but do be aware that quite often that is created by eating too much sugar and a high carbohydrate diet, so that the acidity levels are not sufficient in the gut for the proper function. It can also lead a high carbohydrate diet, and especially sugar, have all sorts of detrimental effects to your health. But in terms of your immunity, it can lead to what we call a metabolic disorder. And what's happening is your body has become addicted to sugar, and you are craving and looking for high carbohydrate, stodgy, sugary type foods when you're low in energy. And so you eat something quite with what we call a high glycemic index that's absorbed very quickly, and your blood glucose level goes right up to a level that actually is not good for your health. So the body will respond to that by producing a whole lot of insulin, and insulin takes the glucose out of the blood and into your cells, either to be used or to be stored as body fat. And then what happens is the body tends to overreact. There's a hyperinsulin response, and sometimes the receptors to insulin have been damaged with this response over time, and the blood sugar levels drop down lower than ideal. So we've got this peak after you eat the sugar, then this drop and this lethargy and this seeking more, and we go like this, our blood sugar levels and our mood, because remember, our brain primarily uses glucose as a fuel. So if your blood sugar levels are going like this, your moods are going like this, and there's not a happy medium there. Things like caffeine, being dehydrated, just exacerbate. Stress will also exacerbate that whole scenario. And what this creates in the body is an inflammatory response. So we now know that many of the major diseases that we are seeing in the Western world, from obesity to diabetes to heart disease to cancer, to arthritic conditions, to autoimmune conditions, are due to an overall inflammatory response in the body. And this way of eating, this high carbohydrate, sugar way of eating, just creates an inflammatory state in the entire body and many of the associated problems. So this, and this causes release of chemicals like adrenaline and cortisol and the stress response. And obviously, if you are feeling stressed emotionally, this just exacerbates the whole situation. So this is where taking control of your diet and introducing more fiber, introducing more healthy fats from nuts and seeds and good plant oils, and introducing oily fish, introducing more protein, well, good quality protein, helps to just bring this inflammatory response down. And there are many herbs and supplements that we can take to help to moderate that inflammatory response. So I want to talk a little bit about supplements you can take to enhance your immune function and to modulate your immune function. So it's not becoming hypersensitive, oversensitive, like we see in the case of, say, allergies, where the immune system is responding, is over-responding to things in our environment. So probably the most important one is vitamin C. There's many studies that showing that higher doses of vitamin C are very effective against viruses and against the coronavirus. In fact, it is a treatment measure in many countries. I would suggest, you know, you take your intake, especially over the winter times, over the virus flu season, you take your intake up to 2 or 3 grams a day. So that's 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams a day. And that it's spread out over the day. Okay, so you might have some in the morning and you might have some in the evening. Some people will put it in their water through the day. You've got to go to bowel tolerance, because vitamin C can create problems with your bowel. So you would modulate to a level that your body is really happy with. Our bodies can't make vitamin C. And so we need to take it in, and especially in the way that we live now in the West, we need more vitamin C. It's a powerful antioxidant involved in reducing many of the premature aging responses in the body, and at higher doses it's an antiviral. And if you have any kind of infection in the body, your needs go right up. So even when you have a cold, your need for vitamin C really increases. The other vitamin that's probably the most important is vitamin D3. And this is an immune modulator. And obviously we get it from the sunshine, and there's a chemical change happens in the cells in our skin, and we store it in our liver. But what we're finding in the West is that due to lots of factors, many people are low in vitamin D. And this has effects through all sorts of systems in the body. But vitamin D is often especially low in people who are overweight or obese. And it's blocked by some drugs. Okay, so you need to check that. But what it does, vitamin D is very effective in reducing inflammation in the body, and very effective at stopping what we call a cytokine storm, which is a sort of a massive inflammatory overreaction in the body that can lead to quite serious health issues, especially in the respiratory system. So the recommended daily intake for vitamin D is about 100 milligrams a day in the form of D3. That's 4,000 international units. But it's suggested that in this time, and especially if your stores are low, when we have the threat of this virus, that we up that to 1,000 milligrams a day, and that will help to protect our health. Some other substances that are really effective and really important for your immune system is zinc. Zinc, we don't get a lot of zinc in our diet. It is fortified in some foods, unless you eat a lot of shellfish. And it used to be prevalent in food, a lot of foods in small doses, but the way that we process and manufacture food tends to mean it's not so. So many people are often deficient in zinc. And it's recommended that you need between 15 and 30 milligrams a day. Again, would be ideal if you had it sort of morning and night. Never go over 50 milligrams. But the reason that you want to take it before you eat, or last thing at night, or before maybe your evening meal, is because its absorption is affected by high fiber foods high in phytates. So quercetin is a substance that's found in the dark skin of berries, in green tea, in apple and onion skins, in herbs like St. John's wort. But it's difficult to get enough quercetin just through food sources unless you're having a lot of green smoothies every day. So it's often recommended that if your immune system is compromised, or you want to boost your immune system, that you take a supplement of quercetin. between 500 and 1,000 milligrams a day. It's very powerful antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and it helps to control your blood sugar levels, so it helps to keep that nice even fuel source for your brain and for your body. Another very powerful anti-inflammatory agent is turmeric, curcumin, and it's recommended either, chop up the root, add it to your food, or take a supplement of between 1 and 2 grams per day. Again, it's powerfully anti-inflammatory. And if you are having side effects from having the coronavirus vaccine, it's recommended that taking turmeric with quercetin and vitamin C all together will help with any side effects that you might be experiencing. Another substance that's that's really good for your immune system. It primes the immune system. It's like trains the immune system and keeps it strong. And that's beta-glucan. And this is found in certain yeasts, regulates your blood sugar. It doesn't overload the immune system. It keeps it spot on. It keeps it working very efficiently. You can take that as a supplement. Other supplements you could explore, nucleotide supplements that boost your immune system and bring those cortisol levels down, and a herb called andrographis that's a powerful immune modulator. Essential oils that are really powerful for your immune system that you can incorporate into oils you place on your skin or in burners in your house, or maybe even add to a salt pipe that you sniff or inhale, a lavender, tea tree, pine, eucalyptus. Some other things that you can do quite simply to boost your immunity is eating raw garlic. A garlic clove chopped up, mixed with a teaspoon of honey, especially if you're already fighting off an infection, morning and night. Really powerful, really good for your gut, really good for helping your body to fight that virus. Another thing you can do is salt is antibacterial, it has some effect antiviral, so you can get yourself one of these, which is a salt pipe, contains natural salts within it, and you just inhale or you can sniff this regularly through the day. This is especially if you have any kind of respiratory infection. You can add a couple of drops of iodine into the salt pipe, just the iodine that you buy at your pharmacy. Really powerful antivirus that again you just sniff during the day or inhale. Some people use a couple of drops of tea tree, which is another antiviral, or perhaps lavender, especially if you're sniffing. That will really help you to relax. So those are just a couple of things that you can do that are quite cheap and easy in your own home. To increase your magnesium levels. Okay, magnesium is found in small amounts in lots of food when it's not processed, but it's another mineral that many people are low in, really affects your energy levels and can be implemented in affecting your immune system. So to enhance your magnesium, which will really help you to cope with stress and helps with that inflammatory response, the best way is to take in magnesium through your skin. Okay, so having a bath in salts, natural salts, so whether it's Himalayan sea or Himalayan crystal salt, sea salt, Epsom salts, are all high in magnesium. And when you relax in a nice warm bath, you absorb those through your skin, which helps your muscles to relax. Really good for your skin, and will just help with that whole relaxation process, as well as being a really effective way of getting magnesium into your body, because many people don't absorb it well, especially if there are any gut issues. So magnesium is important. So taking a good quality multivitamin is the other way to just ensure that your body's getting everything that it needs. You're getting enough iron. For example, we need more iron if we're fighting infection. And just making sure that you're covering all your bases, especially because many of our food sources now are not ideal, and much of our food is more processed than we would like. So obviously things like choosing fresh fruit and vegetables, using whole grains, and choosing organic food, lean, good quality meats if you eat meat, are all good choices for your immune system. So organic if you can, yeah, definitely. So looking after your gut health or your population of bacteria and your microbiome in your gut is key to your immune health. It's key to your overall health. It's key to managing the inflammation in your body. It's key to the neurotransmitters that affect your mood in your body. So how do you look after, briefly, your microbiome? You can read a lot about this, and I suggest that you do. You can take probiotics as drinks, as supplements. Now, especially if you have had any gastric upset, if you've had antibiotics, or you've been ill or fighting an infection for a little time, they are particularly recommended. You can eat fermented foods. So maybe drinking kombucha, eating some of the fermented, more the Asian fermented foods that are coming onto the market. And in general, expanding the range of what you eat. Many of the health problems we have as a result of our diet in the West is because what we eat is too much the same and it's too narrow. So try some gluten-free foods and see how you feel. You might find that your body responds well to that. Reduce your intake of dairy and look at some dairy alternatives where you're bringing more nuts and seeds into your diet. For some people, for many people, dairy is inflammatory in the body. So looking at the variety, try new things, experiment with new ways of cooking, with new recipes, be open to introducing more variety in your diet. The other thing is how relaxed you are when you eat. Okay, if you can eat in a nice relaxed environment, you'll produce enough acid and the body will be in rest and repair, not fight and flight, where all of the blood flow is sent to the extremities and to the muscles and not to the gut, and there's insufficient energy to digest and absorb the nutrients properly. So just eating in an environment where you're sharing, where you're with others, where it's a pleasurable process, rather than something just eating on the run, and it's something where you're just fueling your body, but actually enjoying that process of eating is a key to your health. And developing a good, wholesome relationship with food, seeing food as exciting, something that you want to explore, and starting to read more about food and nutrition and your health. Most important things is probably having good stomach acid, because your stomach acid is also a line of defense against pathogens, microbes, bacteria, viruses. So either it kills the virus, we take it in through our nose and it goes down and the stomach acid kills it, or if it gets into our respiratory system, we cough it up and then we swallow it, and that again, the stomach acid will kill that virus. But probably one of the biggest factors in our immune health is stress. Okay, you could do all of the right things in terms of your diet and your lifestyle and your exercise, but if you're suffering with chronic stress, if your body is responding to threat and fear and doubt and uncertainty all of the time, then your immune system will not be ideal. So you really need to look at your lifestyle and look at ways to address your response to fears and doubts. So practices like meditation, like mindfulness, but also look at what you're allowing in to your mind. So look at the diet of your mind. If you're tuning into lots of messages of fear and doubt and uncertainty, lots of negative energy coming into your body, that is going to take a toll on your immune system. Okay, so choosing to interact with nature, choosing a positive environment, finding ways to deal with the fears and doubts and the stresses and return to a state of feeling really good, because laughter and happiness and being with other people and connection, dancing and singing and all those things that make us feel really good are powerful boosts for the immune system. So I hope this helps. Be well,